What's up YouTube, Brownie here, coming to you with another video, and today I want to talk about the Chapter 1 Void Campaign boss, because there's a few things about the fight that I think are important for people to know before they put their lineup in, because there's a difference between the front and back row in this fight, and it's out of the two spots, the back row is much safer for your heroes than the front row. And I guess I should add a caveat to that. If you're using Ilamac, it's much safer in the back row for your heroes. Now, the reason that is because the basic attacks from the minions all hit the back row. So the first round, your whole back row is going to have most of the time, they're just going to have full shields built up. And the front row is going to be left without a shield in the first round. So it's important to know that and keep that in mind when you're placing your heroes in their lineup. And it's not going to be until round 2 that the front row will possibly take some hits. So if you have a hero that energy drains or something, and round 2 comes along and they're doing basic attacks again, your front row is going to be lacking in shields. So you want to keep that in mind when you're using energy drain. The way I got around this was I used Elena, or not Elena. I mean, Elena's on my team, but I used Natalia and Mockman in the front row, actually. Mockman in the front row. It sounds crazy because, he's burst. You want to burst this boss down, but you can't do that in round 1 or 2 with this boss. So I chose what I like to call his delayed burst, which is starting him in the front row, getting all the Omen Rifted enemies, getting all the enemies Omen Rifted, and then getting a nice big active in the later round. And I say later rounds, it's like mid rounds, like round 5, somewhere in there. But the thing about Natalia is in round 1, she's going to do a basic attack, and her basic is going to give Mockman a full shield. So the front row, and it's also going to give her a full shield. So the front row not getting hit it's not a big deal when you're using these two heroes in the front row. So keep stuff like that in mind when when you're building your lineup and placing them. So there's some other stuff I'm probably going to think of that I want to mention as we watch this fight, and I'll talk about that. I'll try to point out the things that I want you guys to notice or whatever as the fight goes on. But get ready, it's a good fight. It's very Mockman does some crazy stuff. So yeah, let's hop in, take a look at it, and see you guys in a sec. Okay, so let's hop on in here. We're gonna see if we can't get a better score. That's the main reason I want to do this. I want to increase my score. I want to try to move up on the leaderboard. And yeah, because we already got the resources. So, and I just want to see if this idea works. I think it's a quality idea, and I was really excited to test this out. So I was just right there. I was just thinking I maybe want to use Natalia's core, but I decided to stay with Elena's core because of the survivability it gives in round 5 or round 6. It comes in clutch. So yeah, I left Elena's core on. So as you can see, the back row, they've only taken, they just took 3 attacks. They have full shields. So they are sitting pretty for this fight so far. Obviously, Mockman is also going to be increasing their block, so that's another boost to their survivability and their shield building abilities. There you saw Natalia just gave Mockman a full shield, which in turn let him, survive way better in round 1 and 2. Or in round 2, I should say. Okay, now we're getting our counterattacks off. They're going to be hitting the front row here with their actives, so that's going to build up the shields. Hopefully, not hopefully, but the debuffs, the attack debuffs and stuff, like from Queen and from Natalia and stuff, will keep the boss's damage low enough that shields for the back row in round 2 aren't the biggest deal if they don't have a huge shield, because they're not going to be taking a lot of attacks. Okay, so here we already got switched to our offensive stance by round 3, so that's pretty huge. That was a pretty big high roll. We got decent active there. I think we got the pet buff, not 100%, but usually if we don't get the pet buff, that active would have been a lot smaller, I'm pretty sure. So that's good. Now we're gonna hopefully not switch stances before the next active, and that as long as that happens, we should get a nice active, and it'll be a full team active because they're all Omen Rifted. So that's going to be really, really, really nice. And it looks like we'll get another pet buff out before he does an active. Yeah, okay, good. He didn't switch stances, got the pet buff. Freya's going to poison the boss for us, and this should be a massive active. Okay, let's see. Come on. This has to be... please have gotten the pet buff, please. Okay, Freya poisoned. Here's Ilamac, K-Mock Man. Alright. Boom! Holy crap. Okay, switched back. He just took out all of them. They were like almost full health pretty much. I mean, the boss was like, what was that? Maybe like an eighth of his health gone? Jesus. That was huge. Okay, so now we just have these 2 front row guys, and I think this active will probably kill them. But it's round 9, so I think this is a better score than our last attempt. Pretty sure it is. Yeah, okay, we got the better score. Nice. What was our damage? Was it 30 trillion? Pretty cool. Oh my god, that was such a big active. That was so sick. All right, so we moved up our score. I think that moves our record up, or our place. Yeah, we're in place 30. We were ranked 49. Now we're ranked 30. We still didn't get max points, though, so that needs to happen. I'll probably try some more attempts, but yeah, this was a pretty cool fight. Here, I'll show you guys the artifacts and stuff again. Okay, so here's the artifacts that we used. Melodic strings and crown. That's about it. Very simple artifact choices, and yeah, that's about it. But the other thing is the core, and I chose Elena's core. We'll read the level 8 version. So this top part here doesn't really do anything for us in the fight. That is a huge benefit. And then we have the Trickmaster tricks, and Deception is 100% chance to inflict healing curse, but that doesn't really do anything in the fight either. About the only trick that does anything really for us is the Memento Mori one, which reduces the enemy's crit and precision, so lowers their damage, which is always good. But down here says, when self reveals or initiates any trick, it grants self 1 layer of scheme. And then when self has 10 layers of scheme, it additionally grants self absolute power. And this takes effect instantly the next time she acts. So what absolute power does is restores 3600% of attack as HP for all allies. So it's a huge heal. And then meanwhile, it increases their attack. So that's always great. Their speed, not a big deal in this fight. And then all damage reduction by 18%. So that's huge. And this is for 3 rounds. So this comes into play, like, because she usually gets about two layers of scheme per round. And so this comes into play right about round 5 when the boss is ramping up his damage, and which is where a lot of people die. So that's why I chose this core. And yeah, so that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.